Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Today we're talking about making the best of your time that you use to market your business by creating an editorial calendar. Today's quote is from Dustin W. Stout. Give your audience enough variety that they won't get bored, with an emphasis on what they really want most. And I love this quote because it talks about your content and what you're going to use to do your marketing from the perspective of your clients, which is exactly what it should be based in. Let's go. Getting the word out about your virtual assistant business takes time, but it shouldn't take all of your time. A lot of VAs I talk to are spending hours and hours preparing their content, their marketing stuff. And there are a few reasons for this. First of all, we often struggle with what to put out there. So it takes more time to come up with the ideas for content. We spend far too much time making lists and trying to find inspiration everywhere. Second, we are perfectionists. And yes, I'm looking at you, but I also firmly have my hand up as well. So don't worry, you're not alone. We work hours on graphics or content before we ever post them. And sometimes we never do. And third, we try to be everywhere. All of the marketing professionals you will ever meet will tell you to master one channel before moving to others. But we all have FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So we don't listen to that advice, and we try to be everywhere at once. So all that to say, it takes us a lot of time to market our business. And when you don't have a lot of clients, you have a lot more free time, of course, but you shouldn't be filling it with marketing. Networking, yes, but creating and posting content, no. To do this part efficiently takes planning and strategy, and that's where an editorial calendar can be really helpful. It's your planning tool to help you decide what to put where and when. Content marketing is a lot more than just posting stuff on social media. You have to know why you're there, where you are, who you want to see what you're posting, and what you want them to do after seeing it. To create an editorial calendar, you need to know what you are promoting. Are you looking for more visibility and exposure for your VA business? Are you looking for clients? Are you looking to introduce a new service? When you know what you want to talk about, then the calendar easily comes into play. I suggest doing your editorial calendar for 1 month at a time. That is a repeatable task that you can do every month, and you can change things up as necessary to make sure that your strategy is working well for you. You also want to be sure that you set goals for your content marketing, like the ones that I mentioned previously. If you want more visibility, how are you going to measure that? Likes, comments, shares, interactions. If you want to look for more clients, how many clients are you looking for? Who are those people? Where are they? And how is your content going to help them either find you or decide to work with you? When you know your goal, you can work a whole lot better with your content. You can build your content into your schedule every day or every week. The idea is, if you do it daily, is to do it in very small buckets of time, I call them, like 15 or 20 minutes. A lot of people prefer to schedule their regular kind of stuff and then use that 15 or 20 minutes a day to do some interacting, which is actually what I highly recommend for marketing your business. You don't have to post your content every morning at 9 a.m., for example, to do social media well. The live or daily interaction really is the most important part. And that's why an editorial calendar for your content itself can really help take the guesswork out of what you are posting regularly. Here's how to do it. You decide on 4 main topics that you're going to create content around. And these should have everything to do with the services that you offer your clients. Actually, let me state right here that your content should be 100% for your audience. It should be what they are interested in reading about or learning about. And I want to be totally honest with you right here. And this might be hard to hear. They do not care about you. What I mean by that is that they want you to be a really nice and trustworthy person, obviously, if they choose to work with you. But all they really want to know is 2 things. They want to know what you can do for them, and they want to know how much it's going to cost them. Your marketing content is for your clients, and it needs to speak to them in order for it to work for you. So park the posts about I and start thinking you. It's going to go miles farther for you when you create content from that perspective. Okay, so let's back up to where I was initially. Decide on 4 main topics that have to do with your services, that are based in your services. For a lot of VAs, they could be things like email management, time management, organization, and customer service or client care. With those 4 topics in mind, you can start to collect ideas and dump them into folders or swipe files to use to create content. With 4 main topics, your content is going to be really cohesive and you're going to be able to showcase your expertise to your audience or your community or your clients. So why do we choose 4? Because typically there are 4 weeks in a month and you can rotate those topics through 1 week at a time every single month and then continue the next month and the next one after that. So now you need to decide where you're going to post and how often. And again, this is totally going to determine what content you create. Platforms like TikTok, Pinterest, and YouTube are usually used for outreach to get people to see you and to get your VA business in front of lots of eyeballs, the people who are your audience. Instagram and Facebook are for nurturing those people and making sales. LinkedIn too. What that means is that if you're creating content for the other channels, like the ones that you're not networking on so much, that content should be driving people to where you want to nurture them and get to know them and have them get to know you. Your editorial calendar and the planning you do there will also help you set realistic goals about how often you're going to publish content, as well as determine those deadlines for the content as well. So decide what you're going to do each day and just slot it in. There isn't really a right way. You're going to find what works for you in terms of what you're going to create and what that's going to look like for the people who are finding you or following you. You do want to create templates to help you work as efficiently as possible, though. I find them so helpful. If you're writing a weekly blog post, which you really should be, use a template so that you can get that done easily. You can write as efficiently as possible. If you look at my blog, you'll see that for my podcast episodes, I have a quote for each of them. I come up with sort of 3 points of discussion for the episode/article. And I have a call to action at the end of every template. And I also include things like graphics ideas, formatting information for my blog, as well as the category keywords and other SEO information that I'm going to use to put that particular blog post on my website. And that helps me think about all of those things while I create the blog post. So that's obviously efficient. And I never forget to include it. When you're blogging weekly, your website is going to get indexed more often by the search engines like Google, especially if you're putting together really good keywords. But you're also going to have the basis to create other pieces of content that you can use the remainder of the week. Remember, we're setting up 4 main topics so that we can create content on one this week, another next week, and so on and so on. So take that blog post and pull out your quotations, your statistics, and the 3 bullet points from the article and expand on those or use those to create images or social media captions. It's called repurposing. With one blog post, you can really easily create 10 or 20 other pieces of content. If you want to do an Instagram reel, you can do several by using those 3 bullet points, or do a carousel or a short form video listing those 3 bullet points. The calendar is really important to tell you what to post, when, and where. And you can even expand it so that you can put the actual content into the calendar. A lot of people do this inside of Google Drive. I don't, but it certainly keeps everything in one place. Whatever is going to help you get your marketing done efficiently is what you need to be shooting for. And that might be different than what someone else is doing. Using templates for graphics can make things very, very easy. It shouldn't take you hours to create graphics for your social media content. If it is, there's room for improvement. In fact, it should only take you like 30 seconds. By setting up a template or a series of templates, you just need to plunk your content in and you're actually ready to go. Brand recognition is also really important for your marketing, and creating templates that you can use that are branded with your colors and your fonts is a great way to make sure that people who are seeing your stuff will start to recognize you. And in terms of captions, as I said before, get the I right out of it. You want the content to speak to your client. It's okay to put your image on stuff. It's okay to put your colors and your fonts. I actually like that when things are branded, but the words have to speak to your audience. So you're not posting, quote, I'm a VA and I can help you get things done, but you're putting in there as content, overwhelmed, here are 3 ways you can get more done every day. You see how one speaks to them directly, and it is going to get their attention because it's about a problem they're having. But the other one gives the same information, but it's coming from your perspective instead of theirs. And honestly, it sounds salesy to me, even just because it sounds like you want them to hire you. And just while we're on that topic, don't post motivational quotes either. Well, unless they're branded to your company anyway. Or feel free to quote yourself. If you say something all the time that is relevant to your clients, make a quote graphic from it. You want to be able to be seen as the expert in what the client needs help with. And that's why we're putting all this content out there. You don't want someone else to be seen as the expert. And just while I'm on that, the same thing kind of goes for sharing other people's events or information. While I really recommend networking and sharing is a really good way to do those things, nurture those relationships that you're starting to build with the people that you're connecting with. There really is only one rule when sharing other people's things, at least in my opinion, and that is if you're sharing their stuff, you have to create even more of your own stuff to cushion around it. So people aren't just seeing you share someone else's things, but they're seeing it as a part of, the other percent of what you are putting out for yourself. There aren't a lot of rules in what to do for social media, but I think you do need to remember 2 things. Your perspective must be from your client's POV, right? The point of view, what they are struggling with and what they need help with. And you need them to know that you can help them with whatever is troubling them. Not what you think they need help with, but what they think they need help with. So make sure your marketing covers those 2 things and all the other things I've talked about. And then honestly, just get doing it every week. And then for next week, for the following week, change topics, right? And the 3rd and the 4th. And then next month in week 1, you're going to be back with your week 1 topic, which is whatever you're talking about this week. And honestly, I can guarantee you that this cycle will start to make things really efficient for you. Because when you're doing your own kind of normal surfing, things are going to pop out at you. You'll be able to find things that you want to share with others, and you're going to be able to add those things to your calendar or to your folder. Really relevant stuff because your topics are hyper-focused on your clients. Marketing well takes practice, but I know you can do it. And you might even need a little bit of training to learn maybe a little more than what you know now. But you can start with an editorial calendar. That's pretty simple. And honestly, only do what you need to do right now. Getting the word out about your business is not meant to be all consuming, but you do need to do it. One of the things I've been guilty of over the years is putting too much into the marketing calendar and then simply not getting it done. With nobody to hold us accountable for what we're doing, we need to make sure that what we're putting into that calendar is doable. And I want you to find that as well. I don't want you to be like me and overschedule. I want you to plan for less and then do more if you have time, or if you happen to get really efficient or productive. And don't forget to set up the templates. If you do a blog post, how many pieces of content can you create from that are not going to take you hours and hours to create each week? I can tell you, you can put so many other pieces of content together from a single blog post. But let's say you shoot for 10 pieces of content. So that's 2 per day, 1 image and 1 caption, right? That's super easy. Easy with templates and a routine. And if you are deciding to expand to another platform, then you can create more stuff. But as our recommendation is to master one first, and then use those 10 pieces of content where one of those is the blog post. That's just really manageable. So let's circle back to today's quote from Dustin Stout. Give your audience enough variety that they won't get bored, with an emphasis on what they really want most. When we talk about what to post, I can't stress enough that your content needs to be about your clients, needs to be for your clients. And like Dustin says, it needs to give them enough variety, i.e. those 4 topics, that they won't get bored, and puts an emphasis on what they really want most, i.e. your help. The editorial calendar as a tool helps you with time management. But as you can see, it also helps you with focused content and creation process, simpler research, and helps your audience to see that you really are an expert in all of these things because you're not all over the place every day. You're very focused. And as a completely random note, you can also reuse your content. I don't know if anybody ever tells you that. Just because you posted an image last month doesn't mean that you can never use it again. Content is not supposed to be a one and done. But be careful of posting the same thing to different platforms on the same day or at the same time. But certainly, it's all reusable. If people connected to you in more than one place, they don't want to see the same thing posted everywhere, particularly on the same day. So strive to keep things different in different platforms, at least for a few days. Set your calendar up in Google Drive or a project management system if you have one, or a content marketing system. I use Metricool and I absolutely love it. It's so simple to use. And then take those 15 minutes or so a day to connect with people in your groups or on your social media platforms. Ask questions, answer questions, like, comment, and share. It's going to go such a long way in building your trust with your community. And remember those goals. What are you looking to do with this month's content? That's what you need to figure out. And look for the KPIs, look for the things that you're going to do to track to make sure that you're reaching those goals. That's all I've got, guys. If content marketing is something that you have a lot of trouble with, I can help. It's the only reason I'm here at all, actually, as you know, to help you become a ridiculously good VA. I've helped hundreds of VAs who are stuck get moving, and I would love to do the same thing for you. We can work together privately, or you can join the Virtual Circle, my monthly mastermind group, or my Plan to Profit group coaching program. Or you can enroll in some of my self-study trainings. I have so many options for you to help you start taking that first step forward. Check them out in the show notes for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'm going to see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.